I love the city of Baltimore. I've been coming here for years, and if there's one thing I know, the city of Baltimore is serious about his crab.
I love Baltimore crabs.
This is the stomping ground of crabs.
And I've been eating crabs since the time I could sit up at a table.
It's a little spicy, salty, and savory all in one.
If I could describe the taste, you can't. You just have to try it. You just have to try it.
It's time to head out of Studio 1A and hit the road for a new kind of culinary adventure. Follow me as I taste some of the most iconic foods around the country and meet the families behind them. Together, we're going to learn how a good meal has the power to connect us to our past, our future, and each other. When you think Maryland, you got to think blue crab, an essential part of the state's culture and cuisine. And no place knows how to cook it up quite like Baltimore. I mean, just as many ways as you can count, you can find ways to eat crab. Of course, there's your basic, your steamed crab with the beautiful spices, and you just start whacking that bad boy. You can get all that beautiful meat out. You can get canned crab if you'd like. Of course, there's also the fabulous crab mac and cheese with a hot dog. There's the crab dip. There's your crab soup. And of course, the king of crab, the crab cake. Yes, but this is a cake that needs no icing. Crab cakes have been enjoyed by many for centuries throughout the Chesapeake region. But here in Baltimore, they're a way of life. And one of the city's most popular go-tos is tucked away just inside the world-famous Lexington Market.
We're headed back to Houston today, and we wanted to have the best crab cake in town.
We're from Orlando, glad to be here.
People have been coming to Fadelys for years.
Yes.
Ever since I was little, and I'm 25.
People from all around the world come here to Baltimore just to grab a bite of the famous Fadelys crab cake. It's made with fresh Maryland crab and family love. Everybody looks the same. How are you, my dear?
Hello.
Hello, hello.
So good to see you.
How are you, sir? You looking good?
You're looking great. Got something for you.
All right. There you go.
There you go. You need one of those.
Oh, yeah.
There you are.
Now I'm feeling really crabby. Pardon me, I've got to get a lawyer because there's a clause I have to have checked. I've known the folks at Fadelys Seafood for years, but they've been serving up fresh crab cakes even longer.
Hi, I'm Nancy Fadelys Devine. I own Fadelys Seafood. It's been in my family now for, 4 generations, and the 5th is coming up, so we've been around a long time.
I think people are astonished to see my parents at 84 and 89 still working.
You can get another 5 cans and do a second batch if you need to with them.
People ask her for an autograph, they ask her for a picture, they ask her to hold their babies. You know, it's really fun.
I mean, here's this company that's been part of Baltimore for over 130 years.
Right.
What is it about your place that has people coming back?
Right. I think it's that people come in here and go right away. There's a warmth.
Uh-huh.
It's like walking into somebody's home that's they're happy to have you.
Uh-huh.
You know, come and you feel, oh my gosh, I feel at home. And I get people, we were here 20 years, it's exactly the same.
In fact, Fadelys still stands in its original location, founded here by John W. Fadelys Sr. in 1886. Started off as a seafood stall, but over the generations grew into a Baltimore tradition, led by Bill and Nancy Devine, along with their daughter.
Damie Hahn, and I am the 4th generation of Fadelys, so I do everything. Give them a little bit of a smorgasbord of everything. Going over here to fillet a fish, over here to shuck an oyster, over there to steam a crab, back here to fry, up here to make a crab cake, back down on the phone, running in the shipping department. A tray like that is about, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bushels of crabs in order to get that tray. That's a lot of picking, and I don't think people realize how much work goes into getting an all jumbo lump.
Growing up, did you think you were going to end up here? You were going to be doing this?
No, but it was hard to get away from, and I couldn't see it going away. I couldn't see it ending with my parents. So
the pandemic hit.
Yes.
You really had to step up.
My father called me and I said, Dad, you guys cannot come in here. You know, we don't know anything about this virus and the effects, especially on the elderly. And I know you want to be here, but you can't. And he said, Damie, do whatever you do, whatever you can to make payroll. It just makes me cry when I think about it. He said, just make sure that we don't have to lay anybody off. I don't want to lay anybody off. I don't want anybody to lose their job. And we did it.
And I saw it back when I came here in the 90s, and I still see it today. This truly is a family.
Oh, it is a family. and it's funny because I often tell people, Mom and Dad don't treat the employees any differently than they treat me. And that's the God's honest truth.
Which could be a good or a bad.
That's the God's honest truth. And that's why you end up having so many multi-generation families staying here.
That's right. Fadelys isn't just a family-owned business. It's run by family as well. Multiple generations of employees, father and daughter, father and son, mom and daughter, all building a home here.
I've been here since a junior in high school, so I've been doing the thing for a while. I'm going to say it's been around 33, 34 years.
And I started at the end of 79, a week before my son was born.
I started at 14 years old, and I'll be 42 years old in December.
It's always a challenge working with family. A lot of personalities, but you love each other, and it always works. You know, it always works well.
What's really, really bad is when your kids are grandmothers.
Mom, we were in the middle of an interview. Oh, you just broke in.
You have to start over?
Yes.
You were saying about the challenges of working with family?
Just a few of them, you know? Just a few.
While the family spirit makes customers feel at home, it's Fadelys crab cakes that keep them coming back.
What kind of oil do you cook your crab cakes in? Soybean, thank you.
So excited to have this crab. And I watch people for the first time put it in their mouth and they go, oh my God. And they're standing at a table in a market. Yeah. They're not sitting down to a white tablecloth and having somebody serve it on a silver platter. It's on a paper plate, but it belongs on a silver platter.
Nancy created her recipe in 1987, saying she's never changed it.
So, besides yourself, how many other people know the Fadelys crab cake recipe?
Sleep with her, she won't tell me.
He doesn't even know how to make a cup of coffee. Why would I tell him?
So some people use breadcrumbs. You use crushed up saltines.
Broken saltines, yes. And not fine, because you have to use more. You know, so, and then this is the magic sauce.
This the secret sauce?
Yes.
So it's just enough to mix the ingredients
right.
together, nothing more.
That's right.
And the big ball of crab right there.
That's it.
Boom. Oh, look at this. Oh, boy. Oh. It was just like I remember eating it 26 years ago.
You know what? I'm told that all the time when people come in here. The best part about this is you haven't changed a thing.
Now this is a legacy. Well, we know how the crabs end up, but how do they get them? Let's go find out.
The Chesapeake Bay men and women who work these waters are probably just as famous as the legendary catch that they pull out. And in fact, it's back-breaking work that is passed on from generation to generation, including blackjacks. Those were the black watermen who worked these waters all the way back into the 1800s and are a vital part of this community. The Chesapeake Bay is home to a vast variety of seafood, but none as valuable or as well known as the blue crab. The catch here makes up over a third of the nation's supply, and on average, more than 50 million pounds of blue crabs are harvested from the bay.
I'm Captain Tyrone Meredith, charter boat captain, owner, and operator of the Island Queen II.
Captain Meredith knows these waters well. He grew up on them.
I'm the fourth generation waterman, and my great-grandfather, he worked on the water, my grandfather, and my father. We've been here ever since the 1860s, making a living working on the Chesapeake Bay.
This has been the way of life for generations of watermen here in Kent Narrows, a town just 50 miles south of Baltimore. For hundreds of years, they've caught, processed, and sold blue crabs to markets up and down the eastern shore. By the mid to late 1800s, Kent Narrows had also become one of many unlikely havens on the bay for free and enslaved African Americans.
There was more black watermen anywhere on the whole East Coast, probably in the United States.
Those watermen, also known as blackjacks, forged their path to liberation on the water. Their expertise essential to the booming seafood industry. So much so, the government granted some black watermen Seamen's Protection Certificates, providing sailors with American citizenship and a path to economic freedom.
Hey, Lois, I'm coming up on you now. Okay, I got you. Yeah? How'd it biting today?
This morning it did pretty good. Well, being out here is your own boss. You do what you want to do and have nobody tell you, go get me this or go get me that.
75-year-old Lewis Carter still finds that same sense of freedom on the water today. He's also one of the last generations of black watermen alive. Every morning, before the sun rises, he sets out to catch crabs in the bay.
I started in 1961, I was about 15, and I've been at it ever since. Right now, I'm going down the line, and when I get to the other end, I'll throw it off. Crabs will come up on that bait. The pressure from the water pushes them back in this dipper. Okay, these are the big, large males. You put them in one basket. That's a female with red claws. Put them in one basket.
He's one of the last Mohegans left. There's not too many people that still make a living from the water. Most of them moved away, got other jobs, and it's changing because it's harder to make a living from the bay.
Crabbing season runs from spring into late fall, but changes in climate, cost, and labor have made each successive year more challenging. As younger generations take up new trades, there are less people working the waters and ultimately fewer black watermen.
Back when I started, it was a plenty black watermen, but they died out and the younger ones never taken their place. In one way, it makes me feel bad, you know, and I don't think it'll be no chance no more black watermen. I really do believe that.
Captain Meredith estimates there are fewer than a dozen black watermen on the bay. Like many of his peers, he's had to turn to other work.
Back when I was crabbing teenager, I caught high as 50 bushel a day. Right now, crab is catching 2 or 3 bushel a day. Now I started running charters, fishing charters, because crabbing started declining and the fishing was more lucrative money-wise.
And educational His charters are an opportunity to keep stories of the blackjacks alive for generations ahead. Although tradition on these waters is changing, one thing remains the same.
Nothing tastes like the Chesapeake Bay Maryland crab. It's got that certain taste to them. And it's the only place like that in the world is the Chesapeake Bay blue crab.
Back in Baltimore, a new generation is putting a spin on the crab cake.
I'm Alex Perez. I'm the owner of Poppy Cuisine. I'm an artist at heart, so cooking, the arts of culinary, that's something that I'm very passionate about. Not necessarily having a recipe to go off of, but just getting in the kitchen, freestyling, and coming up with a masterpiece.
It's that freestyling approach that brings people through these doors, clamoring for a taste.
Jumbo lump crab lobster.
Crab is king in Baltimore, so you're going to see crab cakes, crab cake fries, crab cake egg rolls. Everyone's been going crazy over it as well.
This is the bomb.
So I just come back for that, and I enjoy it every time I come here.
We actually live in D.C., so we rode all the way up here an hour just to come here.
Right now I'm drizzling our warhead and our aioli sauces on it. I have family from the Dominican Republic. I'm Afro-Latino. I'm black on my mother's side. And pretty much just always had a love for food and cooking food, eating food. So learning how to cook from my dad. So my dad taught me how to cook at the age of 10. I grew up, watching my grandmother cook a lot as well. So I started pretty much combining the foods that I learned to cook from my grandmother with the foods I learned how to cook from my father. And that's kind of like how the whole Poppy Cuisine, was born in her kitchen, essentially.
That was 8 years ago. While working a full-time job, Alex began building a new business on the side, catering food out of his grandma's kitchen.
In February 2020, he was finally able to open a restaurant. Then, the pandemic hit.
Of course, a month later, we get the news that we had to shut down and only do takeout. So that just opened up the floodgates, essentially. And you had people standing in line, hundreds of people on the block in that mass, cars double parked up and down the streets. And it was mayhem.
During a global crisis, the city Alex was born and raised in rallied around him. Now, Poppy Cuisine is packed with locals and tourists alike. But the chef stays true to his roots, running it with close family and friends.
My little sister, Natasha.
Hi.
How's it going?
Natasha, my big bro, Alex.
I can employ family members, friends, and so forth, that people who I grew up with, people that I'm close to, and it's very rewarding,
Hello. Chef Alex.
Hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you.
I wanted to meet Alex and his grandma Gloria, the inspiration behind his cooking. So I dropped by their kitchen to say hello.
Well, I know I picked up from my grandmother, my mother-in-law, and just put my own spin on certain dishes. I didn't follow it to the recipe to the letter.
Were you able to ad-lib a little bit?
Yeah, but he's always asked me when I fix a dish, well, what did you put in this? How did you do this? And I would tell him, I said, you don't have to follow to the letter, put your own spin.
And Alex has done just that, turning the classic crab cake into an egg roll. Genius! The ingredients, simple. A pound of jumbo lump crab, panko breadcrumbs, aged cheddar cheese, egg roll wrappers, and a couple of sauces and microgreens to top it off. There's the star of the show, the crab meat. Put on an apron. I've got rubber gloves on. All right. Patient's ready. So how do we get started, Alex?
Yeah, so first what you want to do is we have some Maryland jumbo lump crab here. So for the most part, it shouldn't have much shells in, but typically I like to sift through it. Just gotta see if there's any shells, and if so, you can put the shells right back in this container.
There you go. So Gloria, did you know you were helping raise a culinary genius?
Well, no, but I know he liked to eat.
This sauce particular is our crab sauce mix. So we're going to drizzle a little bit at a time. Because I don't want to put too much, just enough to bind.
You got enough for Al?
Yep, I think I'll have enough.
She's stayed by me. I like this. I like this lady.
This is why I'm so particular about, when I'm doing things in the kitchen. start actually rolling these things up. Yes.
Why do you think this recipe is so popular at the restaurant, the most popular?
Well, I think because it pretty much gives you the ability to take a Baltimore favorite and make it handheld and on the go. You know, it's throw in your hand and
street
eat.
Food.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's one of the biggest reasons it's very popular. Other than the taste as well.
Right. Well, exactly.
You know. Yeah, because
you can take it with you, but if it doesn't taste good,
exactly.
Come back for it.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to take like a pinch of crab. It's around like a quarter cup or so. They're going to sit in the middle.
That too much?
Yeah, we want to take a little bit out, a little pinch out. Actually, we want to put a little bit more in. Yeah.
Which is it?
All right, so that's perfect right there. That's perfect. And we're going to literally fold them up envelope style.
What is it about cooking and family that is so important?
Yeah, I think for me, living a busy life as a business owner and a dad, a husband, and things like that, I feel like food is an opportunity for family to come together, talk about things, especially if you haven't seen each other in a long time. And it's a way for us to connect. So,
Is it true you've never done this before?
No, I haven't. It's true.
Oh. Could have fooled me that you never did this before. Look at that. Bam! Done!
Faster than I did.
Wow! Wow! It's a natural grandma thing. Love it. So now we're going to get the deep fryer up here and fry these bad boys up.
Oh, absolutely.
Woo! You had to describe the heart of your cuisine. What is it, and how does Baltimore kind of is part of that?
Pretty much my story, and I think that connects very well to our Baltimore, because I grew up here, all my life, and I think everything that I faced during the time that I started this company up until now, I've been transparent about, and it resonated very well with the people in Baltimore, and they watched my journey through the years, and I feel like that's really the heart of what I do.
Make sure
and crisp around the edges and things like that. So that's why I keep turning them, so it doesn't fry on one particular side too much. And just want to even fry.
Ooh.
Nice and golden.
So you want to cut these diagonally. So I'm going to drizzle. This is our aioli sauce, house made, and this is our warhead sauce right here. So the sauce is kind of sweet, has a tangy bite to it.
Oh, kind of like Gloria.
Yep, that's right.
Well, I guess there's only one thing left to do.
Yeah, and that's the piece.
Yes, yes. Crab cake egg roll.
Here we go.
Wow. Chef Alex, you have done Baltimore proud.
Thank you.
Our time here in Baltimore is coming to an end. We tried the traditional crab cake, tasted a modern spin with crab cake egg rolls, and even went straight to the source on the Chesapeake Bay. At the center of it all, one thing still ringing true: food tastes better when you eat it with family. Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Find your favorite recipes, celebrity interviews, uplifting stories, shop our favorite deals, and so much more with the Today app. Download it now.